Hello everyone, connecting to cosmic energy. In reality, it's true. As long as a person is stewing in their own thoughts, well, they are just stewing in their own thoughts. Each of us has our own, of course, yes, connection with God, our own connection with the earth, connection with relatives, with the family, that is, well, what exists. And essentially, what exists is expressed in it. He is what he is. In relation to what he has, the energies that are within him are expressed. Accordingly, if a person wants to acquire more strength, that is, if a person wants to grow further from what they have already achieved in their life journey, they need potential. Nothing comes from nowhere. Nothing arises out of nothingness itself by law. Archimedes and Lavoisier, you all know perfectly well that somewhere there is more. Somewhere there is less. That is, for something to exist, it must come from somewhere. There are certain sources. Well, of course, there are. Just like in knowledge, in academic knowledge. There is mathematics, there is physics, there is quantum mechanics, and other things. It might seem like nonsense, but in reality, the people who have made discoveries and advancements in these sciences didn't just come out of nowhere. They learned. They learned from others, who indeed in turn learned from their predecessors. In other words, there exists knowledge as a kind of potential, essentially a fundamental concept. From where can a person, by connecting to it, transfer it to someone else? In other words, a person doesn't just suddenly become a quantum mechanic. You can't just pull quantum mechanics out of your mind like that. We need all that foundation there. We need those formulas. We need someone. Someone has to show. Someone has to say what to look at, you know. But it's not like that. And over there, the particles actually behave in this way. Why? Because it was proven empirically. So they set up experiments, and this is what they show us. This indicates that the nature of things is like this. Well, again, an important point, I still believe that changes should be positive. Because when people start playing with these things, it most often leads not to the possibility of balancing, but on the contrary, to even greater imbalance. And this is fraught with the loss of mental and physical health. Accordingly, one should learn from those who have balance, who have results, those who can truly demonstrate. Look, this is this, and this is that. If you put this here, it goes there. Now, take any person. We set up an experiment, and this will be the result. Let's do it. Here is the result. Friends, that's how it is. It doesn't matter anymore whether a person believes or not, whether they want to or not. It really doesn't matter. Anyone, just take it. This is how it is. If this, then that. If here, then like this. And we do this, this goes away. And this happens. We do it, it happens. That's all. Here it is, reality. This is exactly how it is. This is exactly how we need to move forward. All ideas, because there is all this evil, this is bad. These are the saints. There is all the scripture. I do not argue. The Holy Scriptures indeed have their place. And of course, we need to study them to understand what the masters of the past thought about all this. What we have, what input information we have, and what we can work with. What he wrote, where there were legends, where there were tales, where there were fairy tales, where there was reality, where there was truth. Let's try and see what the result will be. We tried this result. If it works wonderfully, great. If not, then no. Through experiments, certain laws can be determined. The laws of interaction in this informational world. This is very important. These laws can really help. They can help retain and amplify the energies, the potential that exists. As I already mentioned, the more energy, the more of everything. That's how it is. The more opportunities you have in your field structure to preserve and multiply, specifically in which directions you succeed, means that this will be preserved and multiplied in real life through some real processes in various ways and directions. And we have already conducted an insane number of experiments. I have been working in this field for 20 years, friends, and I can definitely tell you what is true and what are just glitches. What works and what is just belief, especially when considered against the backdrop of some ideas that are not tied to anything concrete and just float in the air, is a complex matter. Something like that, in essence, captures the ambiguity and uncertainty we often face. Therefore, As I have indeed already said, the most extremely crucial thing is actually to find a master, to find a person, a real person, who can actually show you through your own experience. Look, this is why these thoughts are spinning around in your mind, and there really isn't anything at all you can do about it. Because there is a blockage here, because these thoughts, well, that's how the mind-body works, that's the mechanics. If this blockage exists, these thoughts will keep coming. If these thoughts keep coming, this anxiety will keep coming. It means that the tissues there will start to spasm. These tissues will continue to spasm until something starts to tear. They will pull on themselves, and the opposite side of the body will start to hurt. A person most often rushes to treat what hurts. The doctors are actively helping him with this, with pills and other means to dull the pain. In reality, this pain reflects that there is indeed a focal point somewhere, a cause somewhere. And the idea that this cause is inside you, and you can just get rid of it, is also wonderful but impractical. Most often, the cause may certainly come from outside, from another higher priority consciousness, which, according to its own laws and reasons, believes that this type of communication is possible. And if it happens, there is absolutely nothing you can do until you raise your level of consciousness higher, to the point where you can undoubtedly reconsider this law, and then the universe will accept you because you are at a higher level of consciousness. But as long as you are lower, the law of those who are higher will prevail. This is how it works, and no one before me has specifically said it this way. In no scripture, indeed, tradition, was this specifically mentioned anywhere, and this is indeed exactly the case, and it has the very significant potential to project onto all structures. You are in a family. This is the situation. Whoever is in charge distributes the family's balance. You are at work. This is the situation. The person in charge at work distributes the balance of everyone who is part of the system. You are in a country. You are indeed a citizen of planet Earth. You are also part of certain structures, yes, and within these structures, there is a specific legislation. There are certain essences that have their own priority level of consciousness, and they manage and distribute the processes that occur with the masses that are involved. It is very important to look and live where you truly feel good, where you truly feel that you are not being violated, where you understand completely that what is happening is entirely appropriate. You express yourself in various ways and receive benefits, rather than toiling like a slave and working yourself to the bone. For nothing. This is the reality of this world, and the question lies in the internal. Sort of in the allowances of what a person can permit and allow themselves, and what a person says, oh, no, this is not for me. And why? Because that's how they were taught. A human being, in general, is essentially a fully programmable robotic entity that operates according to the patterns and laws that have been embedded in it, fundamentally, inherently. A person cannot truly act in their own way. This is already work on oneself. A person usually typically acts according to the patterns that are inherently embedded in them. If not this way, that way. If not this one, that one. That's it. Here are three options. He never tried to find a fourth one. If it's this, it's this. If not that, it's that. That's all. It's always like this for everyone. That's how it is. There are just many levels of these choices in many times, and it seems as if you are choosing something yourself. But in reality, all the ideas you have are someone else's ideas. Even the language you speak. You were taught this language. You fundamentally have nothing of your own. Well, in fact, except for the problems you brought with you as a soul and inherited from your lineage. Here is indeed a collection of your, so to speak, crap, which actually, as it turns out, each of us has. Accordingly, can you accept them, realize that they really exist, and that you need to work with this? Well, that means there will be progress. Acknowledging the problem is more than 50% of the solution. While a person says, no, I'm fine, but as they say, You don't need to look at the test results. A person is falling apart. No, I'm fine. But why does a person say that? That's how they were taught. Their parents or someone else, their teachers, said it before them. It's all like this. It's very simple. Therefore, in order for us to understand what cosmic energy is and its implications, what the flow of energy is that can come from the universe, the initiation process that a master can provide, the immense power that can be transferred, which is not present initially, which has the potential to change a person's state several levels up or down in their spiritual journey, we must delve deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos and the spiritual realms. This power, it must come from somewhere. It does not arise by itself, just like knowledge. Quantum mechanics won't just get into a person's head by itself. Someone has to put it there. Someone has to bring this idea. Therefore, friends, it makes sense to receive initiations, and it is very important, of course, to pay attention to where you are getting them from. Most very likely, you will be like the one who gives them to you. Meditate with us, friends. Light and love.